if you look at it, I mean, if it's you and you own that mineral, it's not like the law can just be changed and they can take away what, in your case, it might be millions of dollars of wealth. There probably has to be some respect for that, but the real debate over the years has been, yeah, but are other people's rights being stomped on, or is their health being jeopardized? You know, to what degree does the surface owner also have rights that ought to be recognized? And that's where a lot of the state legislative debate over the last several years is kind of centered, and this year I think there's a feeling a lot of progress is made in changing the mission of the Oil and Gas Commission and changing its makeup to try to seek a better balance between those competing interests.
A real proactive county, real proactive people, and with thoughtful people can rein this in and send it in a common sense direction. The oil and gas industry's had such a free rein for so long with so little regulation that no one seems to have the nerve to stand up and tell them you can't do this.
When we talk about the specific project of Lexxam and the Baca project, it is, I think, very symbolic for many ways. And when I first heard about it, of course I was very upset because of, again, to me, the greatest wealth of the San Luis Valley is its water. So I potentially see the situation whereby the water can be sacrificed for short-term profits. So Mark Gloth, a good friend of mine, and I started to do an economic analysis on what this impact was going to be. And using the Lexxam figures of 1 trillion cubic feet, we came up with the fact that at the wellhead price, and this was actually on Labor Day that we did this, was worth $5.9 billion. Of course, that's a big chunk of money and a good motivation for people. So it appears then as, well, this is kind of unstoppable, there's all this money at stake. But then you take a little closer look at the economics of it and the impact of it. And what we found out was that in January of 2007, the United States consumed 2.4 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. Produced 2.1. 0.3 was imported from Canada and from the Mideast, interestingly. So what you had, and in June, I think the U.S. consumption was 1.6 trillion cubic feet. So basically, the conclusion was, potentially we are sacrificing a wildlife area that we don't even know its value and its unique contributions, a wetland, which is obvious, even though, again, not knowing the details, for 2 weeks of consumption of this country. And to do that without a conservation policy in place seemed totally outrageous.
I mean, there are plans to go from 5,000 oil and gas wells on the western slope to 50,000. You tell me how you go from 5,000 to 50,000 without really measuring impact along the way and leave our kids a place that's better than we found it. We will be stubborn stewards of the land and the air and the water and the wildlife as we go forward and find out how we tap those resources.
The whole point of the story is that with everything that's happening, if we're not taking that proactive stance, it'll run over us. It'll run over us.
We've obviously made a big push around renewable energy. We're making a big push around protecting the environment as it relates to oil and gas drilling. So I put the people on that commission that I think understand the necessary balances that you have to take into consideration, and we'll see what they do. But it sounds like the permitting process is in December, and I'll watch and see what happens.